Let's continue our conversation with political commentator Michael Reagan, chair of the Reagan Legacy Foundation. Michael can be found and followed on Twitter. His handle @ReaganWorld. Michael, in your world, what about the notion of these cameras on police officers? Is that a good idea?
It's not going to change anything. I mean, look at the narrative coming out of Ferguson. I mean, there's no corroboration to the fact that hands up, don't shoot, but yet that's the narrative. So the race baiters are always going to find an issue because there's money in it. There's money in being a race baiter. There's money for Al Sharpton. There's money for Louis Farrakhan. There's money for Jesse Jackson. They don't want to solve the problem, not at all. And so you go with body cams out there. Why put body cams on every member of Congress? I tweeted at one point at Reagan World that, with members of Congress, all of them should be made to pee in a bottle before and after every vote to make sure that they're drug-free. I mean, the reaction was so positive from across the country on my Twitter account because they make us do it at the office blindly if we're working for UPS or some operation. And this isn't going to solve the problem in America as long as you have race baiters out there who make a big living by baiting everybody to make it a race issue. There was a kid out here in Los Angeles about a year ago who was beaten to death by police officers. He was homeless, a white homeless guy. The homeless people didn't burn the city down. And what have you. Do we have a homeless problem? Should we talk about homelessness in America because they're beating homeless people on the streets of Los Angeles? Like I said before we went to the break, the man back in Staten Island, it didn't matter if it was black, white, brown, pink, purple, or whatever. He still would have died given the same circumstances that in that case. But they want to turn everything into a race issue. My suggestion is quit doing illegal things. Live according to the law. And when a police officer says something, you might want to do it.
Speaking of things illegal, let's talk illegal immigration. Senator Ted Cruz has called on the GOP to utilize the power of the purse that Congress can exercise over President Obama and his executive action on amnesty. He says the Republicans should not allocate tax dollars at all to fund this. What is your take on what's going on in Washington?
Well, there's a lot of issues in there. I think in many ways, Ted Cruz is absolutely right on this. But the other side of the coin is this is really a state issue. And I wrote about this about 3 weeks ago in my column you'd find at Newsmax and across the country, that this is really a state issue. They're the ones that are going to have to pay the price. And you and I talked about it on Newsmax TV. And now you have 17 states as of yesterday who have joined in the lawsuit against the federal government because they're the ones that are going to be paying the bill. The Congress of the United States needs to go out there and pass the laws that were sitting at Harry Reid's desk. Get them done. At the same time, write an immigration bill and send that to the President of the United States and get it off your foot and put it on the President's foot. Watch him veto it, and he becomes the problem instead of, well, he is a problem, but even a bigger problem the country's able to see. You need to do the business that you were elected to do. And jobs.
And Michael, mindful of your advice, 30 seconds left, should that bill be an enforcement-only bill on immigration?
The bill has to be a border bill. We have to take care of the border of the United States of America. That's what we need to do. We need to do that first. And then you deal with the other issues involved. But you've got to find an area where even the Republican Party can agree things that need to be done, things that can be done. Ronald Reagan were president, he'd pull them all into the Oval Office, pull the legislation out, look at it, say, where are the areas we agree, write that, send it to me, and I'll sign it.
Fair enough. Michael Reagan is handled on Twitter @ReaganWorld. Michael, thanks again, and America's Forum will be right back.